Hello, everybody, and welcome to Vancouver by Night's Phandalin by Night. This is our D&D game. We are so excited to be here with you tonight, and to get a new chapter of this story told. My name is Sarah. I am the dungeon mistress here for Phandalin by Night, and who else? Let me introduce my players. They'll say their names and their character name, and we'll get right into the adventure because we have a lot to get to. So, who are we going to start with? Sean. We'll start with Sean.
Hey guys, I'm Sean. I played 9, the human Pallock.
The paladin of Lathander. Also, Lathander being the warlock patron. We've homebrewed a very special subclass here for 9, our tortured soldier. Love it. Farah.
Hey guys, I'm Farah. I am playing Max, the human wizard bard.
We love it. Max is already such an important part of our family. We're so happy. Nikki.
Hey everybody, I'm Nikki. I will be playing Denny, the Tiefling Bard.
And Amanda.
Hi, I'm Amanda, and I'm playing Winsy, the Tiefling Warlock.
And you guys will see a little blank space on your screen because there's a blank space in our heart. Sarah, who normally plays Graja, our half-orc barbarian, is just feeling a bit under the weather. It's going around, certainly, and she is really hoping to join us next week, and we miss her very much. I've been practicing my Graja voice all week, just in case, so maybe I can do her some justice. Okay, let's dive in. When last we met our heroes, the group was a few bits out from Coneyberry. In our homebrew, it is not kind of the abandoned fortress that is in the canon Forgotten Realms, the Sword Coast. Our Coneyberry is a pocket dimension, a bit like Brigadoon. It kind of moves around, comes and goes, and ours is a pocket dimension that is a home to people who would be outcasts in other areas of the world. And it's run by a little satyr named Stanfield, who is amazing, and we all love him. And that is where the group has made their home. They've purchased a little bit of land. Well, Denny has purchased a little bit of land, constructed a very special area, a home for them, customized it, furnished it, multiple trips to like IKEA to get everything set up for sure. And the group has a great neighborhood that they live in. In fact, they have a little goblin with them, who's a bit younger, a bit more naive to the world, not explicitly a child, but we kind of code it as a child character. And Droop is our little goblin friend. And Droop was meant to stay at the neighbors' houses because at the neighbors' home, because Graja had a premonition of things to come, and it was certainly worrying what was going to happen. And so Graja didn't want to bring Droop with them, and they left Droop at a neighbor's house. And coming back to where we left off, our group realized that Droop actually skipped away from the neighbor's house and hid himself into Graja's backpack. And Graja, being a sturdy half-orc barbarian, didn't even notice the weight. Also had fed a very good amount of rations to the wolves, who he knew how to buy their silence to keep them from ratting him out. And in fact, they did, up until the point where they couldn't any longer. Excuse me. And just as they were trying to figure out, what do we do? Do we send Droop back? Could somebody go back and then rush back to where they were going, they came across, well, maybe they were there, but also there were some stone giants there, and they had a pretty epic battle with some pretty big beasts, pretty big, big bads, and had an epic battle. And Droop kind of earned his place. Droop is a first level cleric. The rest of the group is level 6, I think. And Droop is a first level cleric. Droop is 7. Droop is going to level at a slower pace than the rest of the group, essentially. And so the group found this stowaway, and as Graja was quite unhappy to learn that Droop had joined them. Thankfully, Droop was there to see the nearby ambush by these giants, and stone giant combat ensued, with Max enlarging 9. It was the first time we had seen this happen. Super hulked out 9 came and just stomped people around. And the wolves trying a new combat tactic and just taking a defensive position around Droop the cleric, which isn't the worst thing. This party has seen more death than most, and yeah, it has happened before. So having a cleric on hand, low level, can't cast Revivify. I'm just going to throw that out there for everybody's knowledge. But a cleric nonetheless. Amanda, have you angered Oberon? Why is your camera being like this?
What's going on over there?
I'm trying to make my stupid subtitles work because the link doesn't work for me through the chat.
Let me send it to you through Discord, and don't stress about the subtitles. Fix the camera and I will send you subtitles through Discord. I'm sorry. I knew to do that. I'm sorry that I didn't. I can send that to you now. There we go. Done.
Let me rotate in a second.
Done. Okay.
I mean, I've probably also angered Oberon.
Well, you may have, but Oberon, I was just telling Sean this before the rest of you guys joined our call here. Oberon still owes 9 a favor. 9 saved Whimsy's life at one point, and Papa Faye, favors from Papa Faye go a long way. So you guys have been sitting here on the map, as you can all see, on this a bit of a short rest. You still have about maybe another day's walk to get towards where you assume that this Forge of Spells is. You guys are, of course, on a mission from Lathander, from a couple different sources, but Lathander is definitely guiding your paladin, 9, to a very specific spot with a very specific thing, which is to protect the forge from falling into the influence of those who would corrupt it. And what I can do is I can change us to, because I think this would be useful. How about if I change us to a map of the Sword Coast, so that everybody can kind of see what that looks like. I will zoom out a bit. I have switched us to so that you guys can't see the DM screen. So yeah. Nope. Why? Okay, so you guys are, about here, having left Coneyberry, which is up here. You guys are about here, and you guys are heading down this way. So you have the better part of this evening. You've got maybe a couple of hours left, a long rest, and then you can make it to Wave Echo Cave tomorrow. Can I get, Farah, I've sent you a new link in Zoom chat. Can I see, let's just see if anything else happens. Who is leading the, Sean, 9's going to do it again. Okay, 9, give me, just roll a d20 for me. Just roll a d20.
I don't want to do this.
You
believe in
chose
you.
your own character. I didn't choose your character.
Fuck. Again, 15.
15. Okay. You rolled a 17 last time, I think.
I thought it was a 15 last time.
No, I think it was a 17, but I could be
Okay.
wrong. Roll,
Okay.
okay, but roll me a d4.
A D4.
Yeah.
At least it's not a D8.
It's not a d8.
Please roll a low number of giants.
That is a 2.
A 2. Really? All right. Sure.
Damn it.
Sure. You guys come across a a small caravan. It looks like a wagon being pulled by a single kind of older horse. This little halfling couple is the woman is driving the horses, and the man is kind of asleep on the bench, his straw hat pulled down over his face. Their big halfling feet sitting up on kind of the buckboard. And as you guys get, you guys can kind of see them coming down the road. What do you want to do?
Whimsy pops his head out from behind 9 and waves.
You see the woman, kind of move the reins into one hand and wave at you also. You've got maybe, 100 meters before you're in kind of talking distance.
Max will switch whatever song she's playing into kind of like a halfling drinking song or something.
Absolutely. Roll a performance
'cause.
check.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Gonna insult their culture if you mess it up.
Oh, that wasn't too bad. Let's see. I can math 13.
Yeah, 13, that's not bad at all. You kind of switch it up, and your halfling music is not complex, it's not super complex, but there is just a different kind of staccato to it, and it takes you a second to kind of like, oh yeah, remember what this is. But by the time you're like close enough, you've definitely, recovered, and you're playing this jaunty little tune that you heard once. You are kind of like repeating it several times over the course of like, it's not like several songs, or at least they're not coming to your brain right now. So you are kind of repeating it a little bit, but look, it's a drinking song. They're repeatable, So you guys are getting fairly closer, and you see the woman kind of nudge the man, and he kind of perks up a bit, pulling his hat back. And as you guys get closer, they say, "Oh, hello. How are you? What can we do for you? Are you looking to shop at all? It would be rare on this trail, but we've got stuff to sell if you're looking to buy."
What kind of stuff?
The best kind of stuff, he says.
From where Denny's standing, can I just do like a quick perception check? to
Yeah,
see
give me a
if
perception
it
check.
Seems weird at all.
By all means.
13.
Historically, we're the weird ones.
13. You do see a sign on kind of the side. You can, you'd have to kind of reposition a little bit to read all of it. But it does seem like they have like a car decal, right? There's like Nerd Herd, like Geek Squad. They've got like a, they do have some kind of a sign on the side of their wagon. They seem to be fairly legit. They've got some in the back of this wagon. They've got like some different crates that are stacked on top of each other, a couple of barrels, a couple of packages that look like they're wrapped in brown paper.
Well, I
Max
think.
will.
Oh no, sorry. Go ahead.
Max will look at the rest of the group. Are we in a rush, or do we have a moment to peruse? I mean, I'm always up for shopping.
Our mission is time sensitive, but
I think we might need a few more healing potions, though. I don't want to stress Droop out too much.
And hearing you say this, the man goes, "Oh no, sorry to should have started with this, right. Not many people can afford the magic-y things. It's not really something that we sell. We're more of kind of general mercantile. We do have the treasure chest, which is just kind of random things. You pay 3 copper and you get what you get. That can be kind of fun, because I don't even remember what I put in there myself most of the days. So, but really like pickaxes, rope. We have lots of rope, mining helmets, more standard. I'm sorry. No harm, no foul if all you're looking for is the magic.
Andy is very intrigued by this 3 copper randomization. He grew up
Okay.
fairly rich and doesn't really know what vending machines are, so he's like, "What? This is so interesting." Okay. So yeah, I think Denny's gonna take him up on that for sure.
And he immediately jumps up, kind of excited, and kicks himself over into the back and moves a bag of, kind of burlap filled bag. It sounds like it's got some kind of like grain or lentils, maybe some dried foodstuffs in it. Moves it under, and he pulls up this box and says, "Come on over, 3 copper."
Max will join you.
Okay.
Whimsy pats himself down and pulls out a fistful of feathers.
Feathers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've already brought out extra copper for Denny or for Whimsy. Don't worry.
Okay. So who?
Whimsy offers the feathers to Denny.
Thank you.
Lovely. You're gonna have a really nice pillow at some point, Denny. Everybody who is playing the random box, roll me a D100. Sean got to play this game last night in our home game, and
No
it
joke.
was beautiful.
I rolled a 69.
Hey,
nice.
ba-ba-boo.
Mine's a 61.
51.
Okay, just hold on to 2 of those because we're gonna go with Max's first. Max, you slam your 3 copper down on the side of the wagon and reach your hand in. Your hand grasps around something that is perfectly hand shaped. It feels like it has multiple facets, almost like a huge gem. But as you kind of start to pull it, it clanks on the other end of this gem. And as you pull it out and look at it, you have found yourself a very beautiful, maybe cut glass or crystal knob for a door. You found yourself a door handle.
Incredible.
It can go on your room back at the manor.
Absolutely.
Is this the first time you formally invited me to live with you? This is amazing. What a beautiful day.
Oh,
Ah,
yeah, I guess. I literally have an entire room for you already. Did nobody tell you about that? That's my apologies.
I thought I was just crashing in the guest room.
This lovely little moment happens. Whimsy, sorry, what did you roll?
51.
51. As you two are having this lovely kind of moment, Whimsy peeks around the side of Denny, putting his hand in. Your hand wraps around something that's kind of smooth on top, but feels like multiple hard chitinous plates. And as your fingers go to grab it, some long, thin bits like legs, like insect legs, come out through between your fingers, and you wrap your hand around. There is a little bit of a crunching sound, and as you lift it out and you look at it, you have the truly Feywild worthy sized dead scarab beetle that exists on your hand. It is dead, it's not alive, but you have a dead scarab beetle.
All right.
The size of your hand. It is usually scarabs are, maybe an inchish long. Yeah. This is a massive one.
Whimsy is probably the best person to get this. 'Cause he likes
Absolutely.
weird
There felt like some kismet in that role. And what was Denny's?
61.
God, it's like you guys are rolling for your true characters. This is amazing. Denny, as you go to reach your hand, and now very curious, a crystal doorknob, a dead scarab, what the fuck is going on inside this chest? You reach your hand in, and what you pull out is your fingers kind of immediately get intertwined in some linking, very, very small links, almost like necklace chain. And as you pull it out, the necklace hangs from your fingers, and on the end of the necklace is a cameo. And it's not facing you at first. And as you turn around and you look at it, it is extremely detailed artistry of this person who, to put it kindly, is the not most attractive person you have ever seen in your life. This person, whomever drew this and took the care to drew this, truly did have affection for the person. They're not the most attractive person.
Okay. While I'm looking at it, I'd like to cast Detect Magic on it.
Go ahead, please do. Please do detect magic. And I think that allows you to see magic kind of anywhere in your vicinity? Or is it just on
30
this
feet.
item?
Yeah,
30 feet.
away.
And it lasts kind of 10 minutes?
Yes, up to 10 minutes concentration.
All of us are gonna light up like a
Yeah,
torch.
your friends light up pretty instantly.
Yes.
The dead scarab, there's no magic on it. The crystal doorknob, no magic on it. The chain itself does seem to have like a very faint aura. The cameo is not magic. The chain maybe has a bit of a faint aura of magic on it.
Okay. In that case, I won't put it on, but I will tuck it into my pocket on my vest and just kind of keep it close.
You put it in, and as you do, Whimsy, what is Whimsy's passive perception? Oh yeah, you guys all suck at this.
Yeah, we
That's
suck at
right.
passive.
Only
Droop has the
Droop has
best.
great passive perception, and it's only 15.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's not observant. He's a lot of things, but he's not observant.
That's fair. That's fair. You go, and as you're putting it in, you hear the chain of the necklace hit against the egg that you keep in there, and it's just kind of a reminder. And you kind of like tuck your hand in and move things around because you don't want the egg to be broken or harmed or scratched in any way. And the halfling looks over to Graja, who is like actively has her hand on Droop's hand and is like pulling Droop back because Droop wants something so bad. And you hear him saying, "No, come on, Graja, please, I really want this." And Graja is just kind of looking at him like, no, first off, I don't have any money, but even if I did, I do not trust what is happening in this whole thing of shenanigans.
Max will look over at Graj and say, "It's just a little harmless fun. I'm more than happy to pay for him."
And Droop, like, first off, you may have made an enemy of Graja just now, but you've just made besties with Droop.
Congratulations, you're now the cool wine aunt.
Yeah. And
That's
Droop
the
is
dream.
like, "Come on, Graja, like come on." He gives her this look with his big goblin eyes and this lovely smile of these super sharp fangy teeth. And she's just a sucker. She can't say no to him. And she kind of rolls her eyes, but she releases his hand and he like sprints a couple of steps to you and jumps into your arms and just looks at you with like the most like pleasant thank you face. But he knows his manners and he's going to wait until you put the coin down before he reaches in.
I give him the 3 coins so he can hand it over because that's like the best part.
Oh, he is, first off, he very rarely gets to hold money. So he's already excited by this prospect and he hands it directly to the halfling man, who's like, "Oh, thank you. That's so kind of you." And he immediately from as soon as those coins are in the halfling's hand, his hand is down in this thing. Farah, why don't you go ahead and roll me another D100 and let's see what Droop gets.
That is a 21.
Droop pulls
Oh, no.
out. You kind of almost see him struggling to lift it out, and out of the kind of inky darkness of this, I mean, it's just like a crate. You don't understand how it can be so magically black in this crate. But he reaches his hand out and he pulls something out. He has to like almost reach his second hand in to get the heft of it out. Denny, you immediately know kind of what this is. This is a jewelry box. And Denny looks at it. He's like, it's the prettiest box. It's so pretty. I love it. I love it. And it kind of takes him a second to realize that there is a lid. Denny, you see hinges on it. You know that there's a lid to this.
Well, I'm gonna wander over and cast detect magic on it.
You don't have to
Well-
cast because this lasts for 10 minutes. So,
Oh, true, yeah.
So, it is not magic. This is
Okay.
just a jewelry box.
All right, well, I'm gonna go over and pretend to do some magic for Droop's sake. Just kind of like a ooh, knock thrice on the lid and kind of like, oh, it opens.
And as you open it, this little boy ballerina dances around on the inside as Farah, you would know, being a bard. Well, actually, and Denny, you're a bard also. You both know. You both immediately clock this music. This is gnome music. And gnomes being having an affinity for tinkering anyway, it's clear to see that this little gnome ballerina, boy ballerina, and the gnome music, this must have been crafted by a gnome artisan of some kind. And this little boy ballerina pirouettes around in a circle attached to a spring. And some gnome music plays. And Droop, you look at him, and Droop has just like found his calling in life. His bard aunt and uncle are already the coolest, and they have helped him uncover this like magical secret. He may have chosen his college path, seeing that boys can be ballerinas too. This
Yep,
sounds right for him.
Gonna be paying for some ballerina lessons when
Yeah.
we get back for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And so he has this little gnome crafted music box. The halfling looks beyond the four of you, delighting in Droop's happiness in this moment, and looks over to the masked, gold-plated 9, and says, "And you, good follower of Lathander. It's all harmless here. Come and have a bit of fun. Your type often need to have fun when you can. Isn't it true?"
I appreciate the sentiment, but I will leave the fun to my friends.
He's like, okay, it's totally your choice. That's fine. And you, milady. And he looks to Graja, and Graja's like, well, it's getting better, right? I've been practicing. I'm good, thanks though. I'm gonna stick. And she just kind of points to 9, and they kind of stand there, looking extra burly, really making sure that these halflings are not going to take advantage of any of the situation. Is there
Right,
any?
I am gonna just bring my coin purse out and be like, Raja, my dear, if you want something, I'm happy to pay.
Graja does have a bit of kid in her, and she was feeling a little bit self-conscious about it because she didn't have any money and she didn't want to bring it up in front of everybody. Money was kind of a taboo thing to talk about for her growing up. And so she kind of looks at you, and there is this kind of meaningful look that is shared between you two. Like, thank you for seeing me, and thank you for knowing this thing about me. And so she does give a glance to 9, and she kind of gives this shrug. 9, like, look, he's not wrong. We need to have fun when we can. I've certainly, my nightmares have been keeping me up. All right. And so she walks over. Nikki, go ahead and roll for Sarah.
All right.
We just had the channel Twitch auto chat posted like, hey, as a reminder, we can explore dark themes, which is, mostly for their World of Darkness. Like, we are the most opposite of that in this moment. But I appreciate you looking out for us, Twitch chat.
It's going to be a 48.
A 48. Graja reaches in and she pulls out something. And before she's even fully got it out, you can hear some kind of liquid sloshing as she's kind of shaking it to figure out what it is. She's like a kid at Christmas. She wants to know what it is well before she can see it. She's shaking it. And as she pulls it out, at first, it kind of looks like a snow globe, except for you can hear that there is liquid in it. And as she pulls it out and turns it over in her hand, you can see that this is in fact a glass orb, and there is clear water in it, but swimming around in it is a goldfish. And she looks at it carefully, and then kind of puts it in front of your face, Denny. And you look at it carefully. Roll me a perception check with advantage because it's, right there in front of you. You can take your time. It's not magic. It doesn't ping as magic.
19.
19.
Which is good because the other one was a 1.
Hey, it's not actually a goldfish. It is a clockwork goldfish. That just continuously swims around and around. So I will add that to, I need to add those. I'm going to put it on a sticky note to add later so that they, be sure to add all these to your inventory because who knows what shenanigans you might use this for to ruin my big bad in the future. I love handing out shit like this because you guys always get so creative with it. Droop got a music box. And Graja got a orb with clockwork goldfish. And he says, anything else that any of you would like to get? Now's your chance. Step up. No?
I think I'm all right unless you've got some new pillows. I could really use a new pillow, but if not, that's completely fine.
Pillows. I don't have new ones, and I would hate to sell you the ones that we use because, well, we use them. Sorry, wish that I had something else for you.
But no, I'll pass on that. Thank you.
I've got this bag of beans that you could sleep on.
An interesting option, but I think I'll stick with.
They warm up.
Sleeping on the wolves.
They're good for helping you. No, all right, that's fair. And they bid you good day, and they carry on down the trail, heading. You guys have left Coneyberry. They're heading kind of that general direction. There's a lot of cities and towns beyond that, and you guys carry on. That evening, everybody can. I don't know. Do you guys want to do some kind of watch? Are you guys just all going to bed as you get to your camp for the evening? You guys find this nice secluded glade, some really beautiful aromatic cedar trees that look like they've been kind of recently sustainably harvested, kind of like New Chalmouth style, where the cedar planks have been pulled off so that the cedar can grow back and you're not cutting down a tree. It's a more sustainable form of harvesting. It looks like some area around here is starting to do some rebuilding. This part of the Sword Coast was devastated recently. There was a lot that went on. Watch the first season on YouTube if you want to learn more. And it looks like some kind of development is coming back into the area. But in the meantime, because these cedar trees have been, these planks have been pulled down, this glade smells amazing this evening. And you guys can cut a little piece off. Graja goes and cuts a few little planks. And she she kind of hunts around for a bit, and she does end up finding a rabbit for you guys to eat. She cooks it on these cedar planks. It's very kind of, surprisingly bougie. She's gotten used to the Coneyberry lifestyle, and she's upped her game. She finds like a sprig of wild fennel, and she's upping her game a bit.
Well, speaking of watch, that is actually a question I've been meaning to ask about, just kind of like the logistics of this group. Since we have the wolves, do we just keep the wolves on watch and like one of them is always awake and just like starts howling or wakes us up? Or like what's the vibe for the wolves?
I'd say the wolves definitely sleep in shifts if they do sleep, because they are nocturnal and are used to having scouts protect the pack.
Yeah.
But I'd say probably one of us up with them. Just in
Yeah,
case.
I'll
Wolves don't
take first
necessarily
watch.
care about the same things people do, and unless Whimsy's there to be like, hey, this is something we should care about, then the wolves will just be like, it's fine, don't worry about it.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, and I completely agree. Denny will not be doing that. Denny needs a full 9.5 hours of sleep every night. Otherwise, his beauty regime is just completely fucked up. So Denny will be in his bedroll, full mask, cucumbers on his eyes, dead asleep. So you guys can just do whatever you need.
Yeah.
Well, I got you, Dick. Yeah.
Thank you, Nine. I appreciate that.
I'll stay up for the beginning of the night.
Yeah, Graja says, when you're ready to go to bed, just wake me up. I'll get up. I'll take second watch.
Oh.
I'm also very used to staying up late and not sleeping a whole lot because parties. So whenever you need me, I'm happy to help.
And Whimsy will take one of the shifts in the middle of the night as well.
Sure. Okay, so we'll start with Sean. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Wow. Oh, that is a 2 for a 3.
Max was not wrong. Max is very used to staying up late, and Max is sitting there playing some music, kind of evening, it's not like raucous. It's very campfire, kind of quiet guitar strumming kind of, vibe. And Nine, you've been traveling with this group for a while, but you're starting to actually feel like they're your family and they're your home and you're safe when you're with them. And you're just kind of overcome with some of these feelings of, I haven't felt like I've been a part of a group that I can trust since I left my regiment, since I left my mercenary pack. And this kind of wave of nostalgia comes along and you find your hand reaching into your pouch and pulling out a little bit of your grandma's bread. And there's a little bit of rabbit left over, and you're just kind of really enjoying, even though you're out in the woods, you're fairly comfortable not being, you like your home, of course, in Coneyberry, but you like being out here. You feel very comfortable out here. And there's just this feeling of peace and contentment. And as your mind is drifting through all of these things, and you're just kind of very much being in the moment, you're not keeping a good watch out. And you realize this a couple of hours into the shift as Max is starting to kind of pack up and everything's gone quiet. And it's like when you're driving and suddenly you're at the place you were driving to and you're like, holy shit, how did I get here? I don't remember driving for the last 20 minutes. Like, I don't know if that's ever happened to you guys, but this is what Nine has had happen. He realizes, holy shit, everybody else has been asleep. The moon has shifted position. I have not been paying attention. This is not good. And you're like, I should just wake Graja up because this isn't good. And so you wake Graja up. I love to see that Twitch chat agrees that this is not just me, that's happened too, because I did not want to be admitting to a crime. So I'm glad that that's not just me. Look, Graja rolls a 5. And Graja loves this shift right as everybody else goes to bed. This is like her favorite because she gets to hear Droop like snoring and snorting. Every once in a while he'll shift positions and he'll go and kind of, get a little bit more comfortable. Sometimes he'll start to have like a little bit of a bad dream. He's younger, right? And the wolves protect Cub is the wolves' full-time mission. And so when he starts to like whine or whimper in his sleep, the cub, the one of the wolves gets up and goes over and licks his face and, kind of like snuggles him in closer. And they are really serious about their mission that they have been given from the pack leader, Whimsy, who leads all of you, of course. And Graja, much like Nine, kind of just enjoying this moment of knowing that there's something big on the horizon, also kind of struggling with, what does this mean that Droop is with us? I did not want this, and she starts to kind of rethink and rehash some details of what she believes to be a vision or kind of a prophetic dream. And more or less her time comes to an end, and she'll wake Whimsy up next. Whimsy, roll me a d20. Give me a perception check.
That is, do I have anything to add to perception? All right, that's not bad. 18.
18. Graja wakes you up, and you can see kind of, she's feeling tired. She's really been through it the last couple of weeks. You can see, or the last couple of days, this is starting to wear on her a bit. And she wakes you up, and she goes and kind of moves one of the wolves, nudges one of the wolves aside, and pulls Droop into a hug, and almost immediately falls asleep with him. And you're looking out beyond just the fire. The stars and the moon are changing position above you. Hey, has that star always been orange? That's interesting. And as you're kind of focused on this star, it almost moves slightly. And then you notice, actually, there's several stars that are almost rearranging themselves. How do you think Whimsy reacts to this?
He does the old, like, blink, look down, look back up, make sure his eyes aren't just seeing stars. Dazed and confused. Then he quickly checks his spell list to make sure he doesn't have anything useful. Pretty sure he doesn't.
And as you're thinking through those spells and that all come through your pact with your dad, it occurs to you that the stars are rearranging themselves. They're all orange, kind of flickering from white to like slowly changing to orange over time, and rearranging themselves in a way that as they're kind of moving, they're splitting off, and there's more and more of them becoming. And they start to move closer. And you're like, that's super, like, stars are just, it's just a 2D.
I'm not from here, but that's not normal.
That's super weird. And they draw closer, and they draw closer, and they draw closer, and they start to mix with the smoke coming out of the fire pit, some of the embers crackling and burning off. And not far from you, you can now see fully outlined and detailed the face of your father.
This is some Mufasa shit. I love it.
And he says, same. Father and son have a lot of similar, kind of mannerisms. He says, "Hi, Whimsy. So, my darling boy, how have you been?"
Trying to do my best. You'll be very proud of the things I was doing in town. I've gathered so many favors. So many names. I made a list.
Look at you, boy. I was hesitant about you coming here, but I'm so proud. And a couple of the kind of star-like magics come out and not pinch your cheek, but certainly just kind of hover. You can feel a little bit of warmth as this celestial, or kind of, fey magic extends. So, I needed to get your attention, and God, those other ones, they just talk so often. I would rather talk with you alone. Listen, my boy, we've run into a bit of a hiccup, and I'm just wondering, like, when were you planning on coming back to see us, to return to us, my boy?
I hadn't really thought about it recently.
Cool. So, like, in a couple of days, or...
In the middle of a mission, really high priority, saving the world stuff, maybe.
Well, sure, but your dad has high priority, right?
I
Your old
mean,
man, your pops?
in theory, if this gets taken over by the wrong people, it could be saving your life as well if we do this. So one could almost say,
Ha ha ha. He overly laughs, responding to that. Ah, ha, ha, ah, ha, ha. Saving my life. Let's talk about that for a moment. You see, favors and currency and secrets are so important. And I've had so many fortunate. You have been on the receiving end of so many fortunate things throughout life. Sometimes, in order to get something, you have to give something. And somebody has asked for repayment, fair enough. And you know us, we always keep our word. It's not really something I'm interested in doing. And you're such a grand adventurer. I'm just wondering, like, can I just leave this with you? You'll take care of this for, it's a family. You're helping out the family, right? I can just leave this with you.
can I ask what it is that the great and powerful Oberon doesn't want to dirty his
Oh,
hands with?
it's just that, oh God, I hate traversing the plains, and you seem to like it there so much. It's just a small, a dragon thing. Nothing really to worry too much about. I'm sure that your friends, the talkers over there, they'll be great at it.
Do I get more detail than that, or is it just a vague dragon-related thing? And do I
Oh,
know this dragon? Does this have anything to do with a friend who may or may not be thousands of years old?
this is more something to do with an ex that I dated before your mother. You know how I'm devoted. Listen, this is look, it's not even really that old. I'm sure it's not a big deal. I'm told that much like you, it's gone in search of like making its own place. And so I'm just, we're just hoping to kind of encourage it to not be alive. Nothing serious.
Is not being alive the only solution?
Um, According to the person who's calling in this favor, yes.
I will have to consult the group before I bind them to any deal.
Sure. Okay, well, you know what? I am just going to say that you can delegate this to whomever you'd like, and I'm just going to leave this one with you. Thanks for doing this for me, son. Love you. Bye. And the embers start to scatter. You can maybe get one more sentence that you think that he'd hear.
Wait, Dad, no, shit.
The embers scatter. You didn't agree to anything, but also being a warlock, there is a certain amount of understanding that you're getting voluntold for some things. Yeah. You don't really have a whole lot more details other than White Dragon. You do get the feeling that your dad maybe will send some kind of sign or mission or, notice, wanted poster or something at some point. But you should know that that's probably on your horizon. And the rest of your shift comes and goes. What else does Whimsy do on their shift?
He checks in with the wolves to see if they've noticed anything while they were taking their patrolling shifts, ranging a little further, because most of the people keeping watch stayed in the camp, whereas the wolves were
The wolves
prowling
do
about.
perimeter. Yeah. Carla comes back with a meaty looking kind of trout that you guys could have for breakfast. And no, they haven't. It's been quiet. They haven't noticed anything.
Excellent. Whimsy goes and nudges Max awake for the last shift, I guess.
Absolutely. Max, you feel like you've just fallen asleep, but you know you're used to the glamorous lifestyle. And you get up. You can see that dawn is just starting to peek over the horizon, and there is a fresh trout kind of waiting to be dealt with in the morning. Whenever, if you want to cook, or you want to wait for Graja to get up and cook.
I don't. I don't gut fish. I don't touch that. I will. I'll set it aside away from me and then very viciously wash my hands. But no, I rolled a 13 for perception because I'm very perceptive.
Sure, yeah. God, that trout is starting to smell a little bit, and those guts. There's this moment where you're like, they don't expect me to do that though, right? Because like that's not part of the deal. And you do notice that there is first thing in the morning dew on the grass, the beautiful golden sun starting to rise. You can see it between some of the trees, and as the air around you kind of warms up a bit with the rising of the sun, a deer, a doe, and her two fawns are in the glade far away from you all. You do notice one of the wolves is just kind of sitting there watching and like keeps looking over to Whimsy, who is sound asleep, but like venison's better than trout, like the wolf, but the wolf is not going to attack without explicit permission from Whimsy to do so.
Beautiful. Yeah, Max will just spend the time. She's not gonna play music because she doesn't want to wake people up, but just, tuning her guitar, polishing it up, tidying all of this so
Absolutely.
that she's picture ready in the morning, if you will. And yeah, just enjoying the beautiful morning.
You have learned over a couple days of travel, and Graja had offered it to you, that Graja's axe head is polished to a gleam. It almost acts like a mirror. So if you wanted to, you can kind of like plant it and get like a good angle to just make sure that everything is perfect if you need it. And
don't touch Graja's axe while she's asleep.
That's fair.
I don't need to risk that.
That's fair.
But
that's
in the
fair.
morning, I will.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys all wake up in the morning. The night has come through. Everybody can click that long rest button that is much been awaited. And you guys head on for the rest of the part of your time to the Wave Echo Cave. Before we totally get there, let me ask: is there anybody that wants to? As you're traveling, is there any conversation or anything that comes up on your travel?
I don't think we had gotten the chance to talk about my delivery. So at some point during our wandering or our walking, Max will Whimsy and Max are probably walking together at least part of the way. And she'll pull out some pieces of obsidian and say, I actually got these in the mail the other day, and I have an inkling that they might be from where we're going. And I will hand over a little piece. There's magic just saturated in them. It's very exciting.
Whimsy holds it up, squints at it, holds it up to the sun, licks it a little bit. And he's like, yeah, it's pretty cool. Who sent it to you? I was under the impression that no one had been to this area in a while.
Just some old friends, nothing to worry about, but perhaps it's just a historical wonder of some kind. I mean, you said you were reading about it, right? There's some mythos around it or something?
Yeah. Whimsy looks at the piece again. He's like, I'm just now curious about who was there. Who was there recently enough to chisel some pieces out.
Well, who can say when they got it?
That's true. Did it come
Whimsy.
with a letter at all?
Sorry.
Hmm?
Oh.
No, you guys keep going.
Did it come with a letter at all? Like, are we going to meet your friends there?
Possibly, if it is the same. If it is the same mine that they were talking about. Or, sorry, forge? I know this was translated. Forge. If this is the same forge. Very possibly. Perhaps it's popular.
Is
Whimsy just acts offended that Max has other friends. To sort of cover up his curiosity, he chooses to act offended.
other
You
friends?
have other friends?
Well, of course, my dear. I have to have friends all over the place. How else am I going to keep myself in such style? But don't worry, you're my favorite.
uh, uh, Denny's just gonna kind of look at the shard that he's got and like, do you need this back or can I keep this?
I think I had a couple, right?
There was a few pieces, yeah. It kind of almost looked like confetti at first.
You can keep a hold on it for now. Well, I'll be honest, depending if it's worth anything, I might want them back, but you can study it if you wish. It's a fascinating piece of material.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I think Droop, you might want to put this in your little box, buddy. I think that's probably a safe spot for it.
And you guys hear the little gnome music start up again. He has been winding this thing and listening to it a lot, like a kid with their first Discman listening to something on like repeat one. He has been. This is his jam now, and you guys can see him. He's younger, so his attention kind of. It's not a long attention span. And so sometimes on this walk, he'll run up to 9 and kind of take his little dagger out and try and surprise 9 and thwink him on, the thigh padding, or he loves the sound of his dagger hitting 9's armor. 9, how do you, let me roll an attack roll here. Hey, that's a 19 to hit.
That doesn't hit.
He broadsides you with this, and he giggles and runs away. And he has been doing this kind of all day, practicing as Graja had been training him to do.
Yeah, 9, sometimes I think he'll just kind of play into the hit to make it seem like he's...
9 just falls down like a rag doll, like, oh, you got me.
Like those lions that, like, when they're pounced by their cubs, go, "Oh no, I have been injured."
Yeah, he's just kind of playing it up for him a little bit.
One time, as you do kind of fall over and you're like, "Oh, you got me," he jumps up on you and kind of holds the dagger. He's not actually gonna hurt you or anything like that, but he does kind of hold it up to you and he goes, "I got you that time. I got you so good. I'm getting so good at this, 9. Don't worry, I wouldn't hurt you." And he like puts it in and he kind of climbs down off of your kind of barrelish chest, especially with the plate on. And he holds his hand out to you to like help you up. He is not going to be any help to help you get up. But he's also been watching you and learning from you and learning, how, especially as you and Graja kind of practice fight with each other, and you two have been getting, when you knock one or the other down, you help them to get back up. And he has been watching everything. He has been seeing it all.
Yeah, I get up, brush myself off, and just looking at him like, I yield to you, my little champion.
He like takes a very deep breath, trying to hold it together. His poker face is not good. It's not strong, you guys. You do not want him doing a negotiation for you guys in the future. But he like holds it together in front of you, and then at the second he turns around, he forgets like that. Just because he can't see you, it's not like you can't see him. And he lets out this little squeal and goes running up to Graja, and climbs up onto her and says, I got him so good, I knocked him right down. And Graja, like cheers with him and pats his back, and more or less your day goes on. There is a time at which Whimsy and Max are walking, I imagine Whimsy and Max walk closer to the back of the group, Nine kind of if in the front or watching closely. Denny, Graja comes up to you and just starts chatting with you. What are we going to do next on the house? How, I heard there's a new restaurant going in. Just enjoying your company and having conversation with you.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to make plans to one by one try every single restaurant on the main strip of town. I'm thinking maybe starting some sort of ranking system. Maybe I'll publish it. Maybe I'll have just like a monthly thing, like you got to check out the new restaurant. The mimosas are the best. The charcuterie out of this world. This one, terrible. The service was terrible. I'm planning what else Graja wants to do with her room, and if I should have someone come in and build Droop the dopest tree fort that's ever existed.
And she's like, oh, that would be so cool. I'd really like it if you could get, like some training dummies. Is that something that we could get? And like a little one for Droop also to practice, but like real sized ones for me and Nine. That would be really helpful too.
Very good idea. I shall absolutely try that.
And more or less the day kind of goes on. It's kind of mid-ish afternoon as you guys get into the foothills of the Sword Mountains, where Lathander is directing you, Max, where you believe the instructions are to meet your friend. And it takes you guys a while. I'll get everybody to roll me just a survival check, just to kind of see how you guys do. Whimsy, roll with advantage because of the wolves.
I got a 9.
I'll roll for Graja. Graja got an 18.
I forgot about my real dice. So
13.
11 for Max.
11 for Max. Graja got an 18. Let's just see let's crit fish for Droop. No. No. These dice aren't the worst. They're doing okay.
18.
18. You and Graja is kind of climbing up, kind of a small kind of rocky bit of like an escarpment. And she looks across to you, Whimsy, and she sees the opening. This opening to this area is like hidden around and behind some rocks. And she points it out to you, and you all find your way. This entrance tunnel is dark. It is dank, Pirates of the Caribbean smell, like dank water, and pitch black. As soon as you guys turn the first bend, it is pitch black in this space.
Gosh.
Is this a magical darkness then?
It is
my dark vision I can't see in there.
Okay, so for those of you who have dark vision is not like, it's not just that you can see in the dark. It is extremely limited in tones. What you can tell is that this is a very narrow stone walkway, and you're not seeing any source of light beyond. So you can see about 60 feet in like like colorblind gray dim vision. And it's a full distance more than 60 feet to get down there.
I will cast. Yeah, I'll play a jazzy version of Twinkle
Mm.
Twinkle Little Star, and pop out dancing lights and send them into the hallway.
I love that. So let me ask, what is the marching order here and what is going on with the wolves?
I think-
Wolves aren't good at ranging underground, so I think they're going to be bringing up the rear with Whimsy,
Okay.
rear guard.
Okay.
I think 9 would be in the middle, letting somebody that could see a little better than he can. Or
So
right behind the leader.
Does
Yeah.
Graja have dark vision? If not, I'll go first.
She should.
I think she does.
Yeah, she might.
The lights can also go out 120 feet, so I will
okay.
send them far ahead of us as
okay.
well.
Far ahead. Okay. And she's going to want Droop back by Whimsy and the wolves. I'm just going to put one of the
If
wolves.
things go sideways, they pick up Group and run.
Okay. I'm just going to put one of the wolves on the map, just because they're, as you guys can see, hopefully you can all see, this is a very small space that you guys are in. So I'll just put one of the wolves on there for now, if that's all right with you. And as the dancing lights go out, let me... the entrance tunnel leads to a large cavern supported by natural rock, a natural pillar of rock, and containing 3 stalagmites. In the western part of this cave, behind the column of rock, as you guys get in, there are 3 bedrolls and a heap of just ordinary supplies. Sacks of flour, bags of salt, casks of salted meat, lanterns, flasks of lamp oil, pickaxes, shovels, other gear. This kind of looks like what you would expect kind of a mining operation. Very small. This is not like a full mining company, but this is a small mining operation. As you're kind of looking through the supplies, there is a definite smell that has gotten worse the closer you get to these supplies. And you do find the body of a dwarven miner who has been dead for, God, at least a week.
Can I do like a perception check to see if anybody else besides the dead body is in here or been here recently?
Absolutely. Do your perception check.
Please. Damn it. 5.
5. You, as you're kind of looking around, the smell is overwhelming, and it is a smell that unfortunately you have a lot of familiarity with. And that's quite distracting to you.
Yeah.
I think Denny would also like to do a perception check.
Mm-hmm.
See if there's any shiny things he can. Okay, probably not. It's gonna be a 10, so rolling like garbage today. I'm gonna switch my dice out.
A 10, as you're looking, you hear Graja kind of gasp gently as you come across the body of this dwarven miner. And she's kind of shaking her head, and she's looking at him very carefully. And she says, "You guys, doesn't this, he looks like the other one, right? Like, I mean, it's not Gundren, but
His
he sure
brothers. He had
Didn't
brothers.
Gundren have like 14 brothers?
you're right. You're right.
Whimsy would like to roll investigation on the body to try and figure out what it was that killed it.
Go ahead.
So 18 investigation, because I pre-rolled it.
18 investigation. You notice that he has been searched and like his pouches are missing. It looked like he had a belt that is missing. His boots, though, have some really intricate carving on them. Very detailed carving. But as you're looking for kind of cause of death, it doesn't appear that there's any knife wounds. It's possible that he may have expired. It's also possible that magic could have something to do with this.
Whimsy tries to really nonchalantly like line his foot up next to the boot and be like, does this work?
I love that Whimsy wears Puma socks. This is the best ever. Yeah, as you line your foot up, the boot is a little bit big, but maybe.
Yeah. Finders keepers. Whimsy wants the cool boots.
Absolutely. You put these
He
boots.
is polite enough to put his old boots back on the body, though.
Of course. And Graja kind of looks at you for a second, but doesn't totally question it. Especially as you start to put, you take one boot off and then you put your boot on. And you kind of, it is. These boots are leather stitch. They are steel-toed leather stitch caps. And then there is this like very, almost like an ace bandage wrapping that goes up the middle of the leg with these 3 buckles that kind of hold this ace bandage wrapping, kind of like actually really tiny belts with shiny buckles that hold the ace bandage wrapping around these boots. Excuse me. And as you put them on, you kind of, you adjust them a little bit. You're used to magic, and there is definitely something to these boots.
He has another look at the carvings on them, just like the embossing on the leather, just to see if he can recognize what it is.
What languages do you speak?
Common, Infernal, and Sylvan.
So the language that the runes are carved with, now that you know that this is magic, you go looking for the runes, for the enchantment runes. It is not Sylvan, but it is like a cousin tongue. Like, if you speak Spanish and you see some words in Italian, like you understand that there's some commonality there. You do recognize some of the words, and at least a couple of the base words are jump and run.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Both things I like to do. So
yeah, absolutely. Let me, these will require attunement. And I am going to send you, I'll send you the link on Discord for what these are.
I think while everybody's looking at the body, like, I guess Nine's going to be trying to look out to see what else is in this cave. And I think he's going to try to do like a divine sense to see if there's any detect good and evil.
Okay.
Any celestial fiends, undead within like 60 feet.
Within 60 feet. You pause for a moment, grabbing your symbol of Lathander, and your hand kind of gripping around the sword itself. And it occurs to you as you're focusing on what is good or evil around you. You've been in the Underdark before. You've been underground before, and it is harder sometimes to feel Lathander's blessing and like favor and just kind of to feel his presence when you're underground. But there is a warmth that radiates through the handle of your weapon, and you get the feeling that whatever this new agreement that you have with Lathander, that this weapon is a large part of it's almost a focus of of divine magic, as this weapon kind of starts to almost not that anybody else sees it, but for you, it kind of gives off a very kind of golden glow. And you reach out your senses, kind of trying to peer beyond into the darkness. There doesn't seem to be anything really around. Not even, kind of like rats or something. You're trying to be very in tune. There doesn't seem to be anything in the nearby vicinity.
Okay.
The northeastern section of this cave has completely collapsed, which would be more helpful if I had actually revealed that part of the map. So let me do that now. There we go. This portion of the cavern has collapsed, and it forms a 10-foot wide and 20-foot deep pit. There is a very sturdy hemp rope that is tied to one of the base of the nearby stalagmite and dangles down into the darkness of the pit. At the bottom of this pit, you can see both kind of at the northwest and the southeast, there's like those little blocks of darkness. They look to be tunnels that are carved going in either direction.
Okay, I think seeing that, Nan would go over to Max's and pretty much ask, can you send your lights down there? And I'll head down first.
I can do you one better. And Max will reach into her coat and pull out a rat. If anyone has seen Coraline in the Mouse Circus, it's a little rat with a little jacket, little hat. And she drops him on the ground and it scurries down. It's my familiar. And sends some of the the lights down. I'll leave one up here for us, but sends the rest of them down. And I instruct the rat to pick a direction wherever there's sound, if there is sound, and just see if there's anything, basically, that'll surprise us.
A rat's a little more subtle than a wolf.
Yeah, and actually, I need you to think about how you're going to get the wolves down there. Hey, Calith Gaming, thank you for the raid. We super appreciate you guys there. I hope that I pronounced that right. I hope your game was good, whatever you were playing, and that you had fun. Welcome in. Our adventurers have just stepped foot into this cave. As you send the rat scurrying down, it takes off. Sorry, which direction was it taking off?
It's going to go down to the bottom. And then sit and listen. And if it hears noise in either direction, it will go whichever. If not, we'll go left, because why not?
Go left. Okay. As it sits down there, it's not that you hear something, but how long do you let it sit there?
I'll give it a minute or two. It also has keen smell, if that matters.
Okay.
Rat.
There is kind of a salty tint to the air occasionally, not always. It kind of comes and goes. It kind of wafts back and forth. It's not that it hears something, but it does feel a very slight tremor with some regularity. Kind of, you feel it, and then you just kind of wait to see if you can feel it again. And you feel it again. And then you wait, and now you start counting to see, like, when is this happening? About every minute 15 seconds maybe, there is some kind of low tremor that must either be something tiny or something very far away.
So Max y'all probably haven't actually seen her do this yet. So you see Max sit kind of on the edge of the hole, just her legs dangling down. And she says, I'm not going to be able to hear you, but I'll tell you if I spot anything. And then she closes her eyes and they open again and they are pitch black. And she wargs into the rat and goes in the direction of the tremor.
The tremor comes from almost all around. It is kind of a universal, but you could go either direction because it's not one place or the other. I'm just going to see if I have a little rat. I do have a little rat icon. Oh, it's so tiny. Okay, we can't have it that tiny. That's
God, it's so cute.
Us. It's so tiny. Okay. Let me see if I can. Oh, I'm still in uncover darkness mode. That's why. Okay. I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. Oh, look at that little teeny rat. Okay.
Just
and
imagine a little jacket.
Yes. A very snazzy little, almost sequins that you can see. And it goes running off to the left. Do rats have dark vision?
I'm pretty sure that they do.
Yeah. Dark vision up to 30 feet.
Up to 30 feet. You go running off in this direction. And you come to an intersection of mostly stone. The tremors are still happening pretty regular. You can go north, west, east, south. You can go kind of any direction you want to go.
I'm going to keep going left. I'm going to do that thing you do in mazes where you just pick one and then just like put your hand on the side and
just go.
So you can't anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Let me drag this map a little bit so that the audience can also see what you're seeing. Yeah, you do continue left. And why isn't my polygon reveal working? You do go to the left, and you come across another intersection. This area is this area consists of like numerous seeming to be intersecting passages. The ceilings here are much taller than the rat. And several of the passages end in kind of partially excavated rock faces. And that certainly seems to be, excuse me, the circumstance to the south. As the rat kind of comes around the corner, gets to about here, something lurches to the north, and swings out something. Something comes shrieking off towards you. Make a dexterity saving check.
Oh my goodness. Who would attack my... Oh, boy, howdy. All right. That's not good. That's an 8.
Okay. I don't know what the AC of a rat is. It can't be... It might 10. Be good because it's tiny. This is 13 to hit.
Oh, that hits.
And you are going to take... Well, the rat is...
It has 1 hit point, so...
Yeah, the rat feels this sting of burning sensation along its body, and then the rat dies.
It poofs out of existence.
It poofs away out of existence.
Max physically jumps back. Her eyes go back to normal. Did I see what attacked my rat at all, or
roll me a perception check using roll me a perception check using the the perception of the rat.
Rat stats. That is 14. 14. Yeah.
14. You're perceiving this through the familiar rat. And rats, when left to their own devices, love to go and find themselves some trash pile. This was almost like jelly, except for acid jelly.
Oh boy, howdy. Would I know what oozes are?
I don't know. You tell
I
me.
don't
Would Max
know.
know what oozes are?
I mean, she did go to magic school, so like maybe she's heard stories of them or found them in a textbook, but she doesn't know them in detail, probably.
Yeah,
So,
roll me just a general intelligence or a history
okay,
check just to see how
yeah.
did you actually do the reading that week, or were you at parties and you just read like the first sentence in the last paragraph and faked your way through that seminar?
That is a 19, so maybe
A
she read
19.
the chapter.
That was one of the times where it was right at the start of the semester when you were like, no, this semester I'm actually going to do things. I'm going to take this seriously. I'm going to do all my readings. And you do remember, there is a whole collection of oozes that have been cataloged in kind of the species ooze. And you know that there's lots of different kinds around. And as you're starting to put the two pieces together, this is not like a as you're starting to put together what you perceived and also what you remember from this seminar, this is not a full this is not kind of a cube. This was more of like a tendrily situation, and this had a very distinct color. This was like a very ochre, almost whimsy orange, like a brownie orange ochre color.
Okay. I will kind of sitting back on the ground, backed away a bit from the ledge. Max will look up to the group. I think 9 was right next to me, and
Yeah.
say, "Well, I didn't see any people, but there are some oozes down there. If your weapons aren't magical, I would suggest not using them on it because they're gonna have a bad time. And so are we. So, just FYI. My rat's gone now. We can only do that again later. Um,
Um,
oops.
yeah, go ahead.
That was it.
Sean, can you tell me again what detect good and evil? How long does that last?
Let me
It's just like one action.
yeah, I think it's just one action.
And sorry, what does it?
Detect good and evil until your next turn. You can sense anything affected by the hallow spell or know the location of any celestial fiend undead within 60 feet.
Celestial fiend undead. Okay. Um. That's interesting. Okay. Within 60 feet.
Yeah.
9, as you're gripping onto your sword almost like a Ouija board thingy. I don't know what those things are called. They probably actually have a term.
Planchet.
A planchet, is that what it's called? Thank
It's
you.
a planchet. Yep.
Almost starts to like vibrate in your hand a little bit, your sword, and you feel your hand kind of it's not like it's a strong swing. It's not like it's a strong like your hand is being guided. Sometimes you have felt like Lathander has guided your hand. Certainly Jart explains that the dagger that she has from Saloon, sometimes it feels like Saloon herself guides Jart's hand with that weapon. But your sword, not that your sword is sentient and not that your sword can transmit feelings, but you are in tune with your weapon. This is who you are. You have trained with this thing for years. It starts to move slightly. And as you kind of worriedly look up, you see that actually your whole body has taken a few steps and you are very close to Denny right now.
think Nine's just confused by that. Um, and he said he's sensing this off of Denny.
Yeah. The more you look at Denny, the more that it's like a light that's flickering, that's like about to die. You get flickers of undead energy kind of flickering across Denny's form.
I'm gonna have to replace my batteries soon. Dang.
It's true.
I think Denny's just gonna kind of like look behind him at 9, like, "You all right, big guy? You doing all right?"
I feel like I should ask you the same question. Are you well?
Well, I don't really like being in this moist cave, but apart from that, yeah, I'm great.
Just feel like my spidey senses tingling your way. Why is that?
Am I covered in spiders? Is that what this is? He's just gonna kind of like pat himself down. What sort of sense are you getting?
Well, following who I follow, you've seen me work a couple times, and I can sense usually when there's good and evil or undead close, and I'm getting sparse hints of that coming from you. Why would that be?
Oh my God, I have no idea. I haven't bathed in a couple of days. Is that maybe why? I know I should have stopped at that stream on the way out today.
I do not believe it's your hygiene, Denny.
Oh, thank God for that. Oh, good Lord, I have absolutely no idea. I feel fine. Do I look fine? Do I look tired? God,
9,
please
roll
don't.
me. Go ahead. Sorry, Nikki.
Oh no, no, I was just. It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
9, roll me an insight check. Nikki, you're rolling at advantage.
Also, I
Okay.
want to say Whimsy's paying very close attention to this exchange
Sure, roll an insight check.
because he was wise to the stuff with Velen, and so he's like, "Oh God, not again."
Yeah, sure. Roll an insight check.
Yeah, my insight is not very insightful. It's a 10.
15 for Whimsy.
9, like, you don't always have to be super insightful. You don't have to know precisely what is going on, but you know that Lathander isn't lying and that your weapon is granting you and this spell that you've cast, your eyes aren't lying to you. And you can't piece it together, and you don't know whether, like, Denny seems to be legitimately kind of prissy about hygiene at this moment, but that's what you've got. Denny, what'd you roll there?
13.
13. Whimsy, yeah, there are some vibes here. You're watching very carefully, and I don't know that Whimsy is saying anything, but Whimsy's watching, and
Collecting knowledge and secrets.
just collecting knowledge, just keeping track on that. Yeah. And about that time, Max comes to, and you guys have this whole conversation about jellies and oozes and all of the stuff. As you're talking about the oozes and the jellies, Graja instinctively moves Droop behind her, and the wolves come up and like kind of surround him. She's a bit on edge here, and her concern is Droop, and not potentially what's going on with Denny.
How deep was the crevice?
What did I say? About 20 feet. Not deep.
Not deep.
You could probably jump. You might twist an ankle.
My question is, how sheer is it?
Yeah, I mean, it is a drop. So it seems like the floor of the cave has caved in. And so there's a drop element to this. So maybe from like, if you could get out on like the thinnest point of the ledge and it wouldn't crumble underneath you, maybe it's still kind of 18 feet, but it is a drop to get down there.
And there's no like rubble you can climb up on? Because Whimsy doesn't want to take the wolves somewhere where if everyone dies, they can't get out on their own.
Right. Yeah, there is not kind of that situation. Whether or not the wolves could dig themselves out, you don't know, but this is a drop and a rope climb element here.
Whimsy has a brief conversation with the wolves in which they probably seem annoyed with him, but he pretty much tells them to stay and guard the mouth of the cave and howl in the loudest and most echoing way they can if something comes in behind us. But he's going to leave them to guard the mouth of the cave because he does not want to take them somewhere where they might get stuck.
Okay. You're right. They're not happy about that. They give you a lot of hassle around protect cub. Family, protect cub.
And Whimsy's just like, can't protect cub if all die in pool.
Cub, stay with us.
Cub can climb rope. Pat cannot climb rope. Pat, stay. Guard exit.
Ferdinand is by far the most stubborn of the wolves, and he goes over and he sniffs the rope. He licks it a little bit. He's really trying to figure out, like, he wants to, he almost would be willing to test to see if he could climb the rope, because he is not happy about you guys going down there. But eventually he sits
like, go right ahead. If you can climb this rope, be my guest. But if it's a sheer drop, then I don't think they're like rappelling their way down or up.
This is when we find out.
If it was like a bit of a hill, Whimsy would let them down. But if it's a sheer drop,
yeah, this is when we find out they're all shape changers, and they all. No, I'm just kidding. No, they're not.
I mean, in theory, Whimsy could blow all of his spell slots, using polymorph to turn a couple of them into something that can climb, but that would be all of his spell slots.
What's the worst that could happen?
And still wouldn't be all of the wolves.
And would not allow them to get back out should something happen to you guys.
Exactly.
Yeah. They're not happy, but they reluctantly agree, and they sit back on their haunches. And Carl, being now kind of the mama bear of the pack, goes over and kind of nudges one of the casks of salted meat, and says, "You leave us food. We will stay and protect for you."
Yeah. Whimsy puts down the cask and sort of kicks it open so that they have the salted meat that he packed for them.
Yeah. And they go over and they each pick up a little piece and kind of go and hide in different corners so that they can see if anybody's coming or going either way. And they will sit there and wait for you.
Excellent. Hopefully we don't all die.
Way to jinx us.
I think mine would go over to Graja, ask her, do you think it would be best if we left Droop with Carl?
She takes a big, deep breath as she thinks about it. I do love the wolves, and I'm sure that they would do their best, but he could also get them into trouble. And I'd rather him be with... Besides, like, in my dream, the wolves were with us. So maybe them staying changes things.
Very well.
Change the future.
Change the future. That's never been any plot of any movie or thread ever. So we're good. We're in brand new territory here. Yeah, no problem. So are you all going down? What is the order in which you are doing that? 9 is going first. 9, give me an athletics roll. Let's see how hard you hit that ground when you fuck this up.
Is the rope there?
Rope is there.
Well, I'm using the rope, like military descent.
Great. So roll that athletics check, baby. That impacts the DC. It's a little bit lower.
Ooh, 22.
22. You look at Graja and you're like, haven't shown you this yet, haven't trained you on this one yet, and you just like that TikTok do 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 do, and you just like peace out, wrapping your foot around the bottom of the rope to control your descent, and you just paratrooper style slide right on down, locking eyes with Graja the whole way, one-handed. You just hit the bottom and immediately go to hold it to steady it, which will give everybody else advantage. You are well trained in combat tactics such as this.
I got y'all.
Yeah, who would like to go next?
Whimsy will go next.
Max, roll athletics with advantage. Whimsy, you can roll it with advantage. You're all going down. Denny, roll it with advantage. I'll roll for Droop and for Graja.
There's
Ooh, they sucked.
Who?
Both. They're
What?
fine. They made it, but I rolled real low for both of them.
It's an 18 for me.
Yeah. 18, you watch as the couple of others go ahead before you, and your concern mostly is this is hemp rope, and like those fibers, if they get stuck as like slivers or thorns, they're a bitch to get out. And also you don't want it roughing up the fine silk of your shirt. So the reason that you have to go kind of near the end is you've very carefully like taken off your silk shirt, wrapped it into your backpack, like made sure that, it's not going to get all pulled and messed up. Max, what'd you roll?
So Max is really good at acrobatics. She's not athletic.
Sure.
So that's a 3.
That's a 3. You know what?
Yeah.
With advantage, that was a 3.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Try
boy.
to catch Max if they fall.
Max, you go down, and it's not the problem that you have gone down. It's that you were not anticipating the rubbing, the friction of the rope against your instrument strap, and you feel your instrument strap start to slide up and come loose, and you just instinctually, because this isn't your forte, let go to grab your instrument and come plummeting down.
Please.
Roll a dexterity saving throw.
I would also, if I could, try to cast, I think levitate. I have levitate.
This happens, it's only 20
But this
feet.
is-
Like this happens
Oh,
really
okay,
quickly.
It's not like crazy.
Yeah. Like this is going to be real quick. So let's see if 9 can catch you. He's going to roll a dexterity saving throw to see if he can grab you.
Oh, shit. Dexterity saving throw?
Yep.
Okay. Damn, my rolls ain't been going good. Let's see.
Yeah, Featherfall would be something you could cast. Featherfall's a reaction. Like it happens instantly.
I'm sorry, Max. I rolled a nat 1 for a 2.
Uh-oh.
His arms out to catch you, and then you
Hey.
I
fall
just fall on my ass.
You know, you
Fell on
don't. You don't fall on your ass. The problem is that you fall on 9, who falls on his ass.
Oh, no.
9, you take 4 points of damage as,
Question.
importantly, the instrument is safe.
Yeah, that's what matters.
But
Hey, I saved something.
look, Max slams into you, and you feel that twinge in your knees. That just, oh God, that's something you're going to need to be careful on.
God.
But Max is at the bottom. 9 is there. Whimsy, what'd you roll?
Whimsy rolled a 19 because in
Hey,
the Feywild they build in the trees a lot, and there's a lot
it's
of like
true.
rope swings and zip lines and shit going on. So he's
Yeah.
just old hand at this. This was
Yeah,
childhood.
absolutely. Graja sends Droop down first, and just kind of like very carefully gets down on her belly and like holds him by the scruff until she can't anymore, and then like shouts down to Nine, like get up. You're supposed to catch him. Get up. And Droop slides down. Droop has been playing at the Coneyberry Playground a lot, and they have all kinds of like proper outdoor, risky play equipment, top of the line stuff. So he comes down it. It's not super graceful. He's a little kid, but he comes down it. Graja is carrying the weight of the world, but also almost all of your guys' stuff, and a big heavy battle axe. And Graja comes down as well, and slides down. It helps that Nine is holding the other end, and you guys are down there, but you're all down there. So my question is, where do you want to go?
Well, we know there's some spicy jello off that way. Do we want to try and go the other way and hope it's clear, or go where we know what's coming?
Well, there is that tremor as well. I don't know if anyone else feels it, but my familiar did. Perhaps we can listen at some of the offshoots and see if any of us hear anything. The rat is
We
particularly
can't
good at that.
we can't like find or feel where these tremors might be coming from. It just emanates from
The rat is really what felt it. It's not. I mean, you guys can all roll a pretty hefty kind of perception check or nature check, maybe, to see what you can suss out.
Yeah, Max will try for sure.
Sure,
I'll go for it. Yeah.
go for it.
When Nine brings it up, everyone just stops.
No, I got
Tries
it.
to feel what's happening.
That's a 21.
Hey,
Okay, for
Oh.
me.
yeah, actually, what you find, Max, is now that I mean, the rat was your familiar. You know what it is that you're feeling for. And it's not necessarily that you feel the tremor, it's that you can see one of the little pebbles kind of dance along the hewn stone floor. And it's very regular, kind of every minute to every minute, 15 seconds. It dances for about 3 or 4 seconds and then settles, and then comes back and settles.
I'll point out the regularity, but try to listen between that, maybe, to see if there's anything like someone calling, like, get ready, we're going to drill something, or I don't know. But
Okay.
other than that.
All right. So Graja says, well, guys, if we already know what's that way and we're on a crunch, I don't want to waste time on something that isn't what we're looking for. Maybe we should, I don't know.
So we're going the other way then.
Yeah, I went left. We could try right this time.
All right, let's do it. I think Nine will walk up towards the front, following the lights.
I'll go behind.
And you guys, sorry, go ahead.
When Nine gets up, like, okay, so we're going to the right?
So 9 gets up to the front, and you come across what Max has described. This is a series of hewn out, interlocking sections, hallways, and walkways.
Okay, well, when Nine gets up to that intersection right there, can I do a perception check? Is there anything like checking for, like, is there anyone there, or is there any traps there? Or...
Sure, roll me a perception check.
He's trying to watch his corners.
And I'm gonna say Whimsy goes second in line.
Okay.
Fuck. I'm rolling horrible. 6.
6. As you're kind of looking, you do start to notice that there are some carvings on the wall, and you start trying to really focus in and figure out what these carvings are. Whimsy, you notice that just beyond, because 9 is a human, 9 doesn't have dark vision. Whimsy, you do. So as you're kind of looking over 9's shoulder, you see that there is a cavern just beyond. It's beyond just the hewn walls. They're fairly kind of 90-degree angles and straight, like it's stone, so it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. This is where many tunnels seem to be intersecting at this natural 30-foot high cavern. And the walls are carved with different scenes. These are runic, but also illustrated pictures showing dwarf and gnome miners hard at work. And below the inscriptions, as you start to look across the floor, there's nearly 24 skeletons in rusted scraps of armor across the cavern floor. Some are dwarf skeletons. Some look more larger, almost Graja size. And there are half a dozen large brass lanterns that are standing in niches or in ledges around the cavern itself. None of them are lit.
Whimsy quietly is like, there's a bunch of skeletons in a small cavern up ahead, just so we're all aware walking in there. He says that mostly quietly to 9, but not quiet enough for everyone else to hear. The quiet is mainly so they don't announce to the cavern ahead that they're coming.
These skeletons, you said they were in rusted armor, so they've been here a lot longer than a week, like the one that was up at the top.
Yes, absolutely.
Fleshy boys.
Max mentioned earlier that oozes cause rusting. Could we take a closer look with whatever the closest one to see if it's that an ooze has consumed everything but the bones, or if it is that they're very old?
Absolutely. So Max, you want to go walking in there?
Yeah.
Max kind of scooches past you all and goes into the cavern itself, to the nearest skeleton that's on the ground there, and goes to look for any signs of rust that is kind of maybe arcane or oozed. Roll me an investigation or intelligence check just to see kind of what you can suss out about this situation.
I think 9 would kind of be on Max's hip so she wouldn't get attacked by anything while she's doing this investigation.
It's a 25.
25. As you're bent over looking at one of the skeletons, it's not the skeleton and the rust, which seems to be very old, I want to point out first. You notice something fall very near you and splat on the stone. And as you look over at it, it is white, almost guano looking.
Mm.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I jump back. And I point.
Nine's
Ooze
got
ahoy.
sword out and sword
You make a sudden movement, you jump back and point.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Love it.
That is when you all hear the flapping of wings as something starts to descend from the cavern roof. And that's where we'll pick up next week with the entrance to something. Excellent game, everybody. That was awesome. Loved that. So many good moments today. Wrap up's going to be difficult. We love that. I'm going to go around and get my players to introduce themselves and say where you can find them in other projects. And we hope that you all join us back here again next week to see what comes next. Let's start with Amanda.
Hi, I'm Amanda. I play Whimsy the Tiefling Warlock. You can find me most places as Balder Dashing. And really all I do these days, though, is make way too many TikToks. So you can find me often looking like this, sometimes looking like various other D&D characters, but I do dumb in-character D&D TikToks.
Not dumb. Great.
Love your TikTok.
Great TikToks is what you do. Love that. Sean.
Hey guys, I'm Sean. I do nothing. I do this on Sunday. And you can find me acting foolish on most social medias.
Sean also does our music. Shout out to Sean. He does our music for us. He does music for Girls Run These Worlds. He does music for Vancouver by Night, the channel. So hit Sean up if you're looking to collaborate. I'm not giving away all of his time. I'm just saying he's really good and you should talk to him about it. Okay, I'm going to say that. Nikki.
Hey everybody, Nikki here. You can find me on Instagram and on TikTok under I'm Poppy Field. You can also find me on Saturdays over on the Girls Run These Worlds channel, where I play a magical veterinarian. And just as a side note, I am very excited about possibly fighting some bats. Denny is very concerned that he's going to get guano on his outfit, but I love bats, so I'm pumped.
Love that. These aren't bats, so you will regret that next week, but let's go. Fantastic. Farah.
Hello, I'm Farah. I play Max, the Wizbard, the human Wizbard. I do this on Sundays. I am also on Crossroads Games, which you can find also on Twitter. You can find me at Farrakaya on Twitter and Instagram and some other stuff, which you can find linked there. Check me out in All Barbarians in the next couple of weeks on Crossroads Games, because it's going to be great. I'm going to rage.
I love that so much. Who you're missing tonight, their camera box is empty. That's Sarah. Sarah MC Diabetes. She plays here. She's a creative partner at Martlet Games. She is here. You can watch her Saturdays on the Vancouver by Night Vampire stream, where she plays the fledgling Tremere, Prince of Vancouver, Jude. And you should check her out wherever she is. She's amazing. And you can catch her at MC Diabetes. And my name is Sarah. I'm the other Sarah. I have been your dungeon mistress today and for this game. And you can find me at SMoreAD. And I've just started doing stuff for Start Playing Games. So if you like this game, I do have a Lost Mines of Phandelver game that I'm just starting up. And you can find that. I've also got a Films of the Yawning Portal and a brand new game if you've never played any D&D. And Kill the Dragon Epic Level 1 Shot. That's just going to be a lot of fun, and you just get to beat the shit out of a dragon, which my players will learn about at some point in the near future. How much fun for them. So thanks everybody for joining us. I also want to shout out a couple of other things on behalf of the channel here. First, go and hit our YouTube. We are always looking to share the amazing content that has happened on this channel. You can watch our first season and you can watch previous episodes if this is your first time catching us today. You're only a couple of episodes into season 2, sorry. Wow, I got ahead of myself. Season 2. This is episode 3 of season 2. And also check out our Patreon. It's only $1. And some of what's going on there was made by our very own Nikki. It has some maps going in there. So we're excited about that. And also Adventure Dice is our sponsor, and we love them and we appreciate them. And I have Roll for Adventure. Adventure Dice is your Canadian source for dice, role-playing game accessories, and other tabletop gaming goodies. Many of the items on their site are handcrafted in beautiful British Columbia, Canada, which obviously we're here on Vancouver by Night. That is our local place. So we love that. We are going to be rating Dead Aussie Gamer, who I hope is not actually dead, maybe undead. I don't know that that's any better. Dead Aussie Gamer. So stick around for that. Thank you for everybody who rated. Remember, when we get there, click their name so that, you know, it goes over to them. And we will see you all next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.